particular statutory enactment, we said that if it passed, we had to come back in and do it. So what this does, I'll just give you a basic, we've got a great deal of agreement on this for the first time. Pretty much all of the stakeholders in this are in agreement, from the counties to the development interest to the school interest to those who were the anti-TAD forces last time around. All basically agree with this. There was no pushback in the committee at all. It passed unanimously all the way through, and every speaker was pro House Bill 63. So I won't belabor a lot of things. One of the major things that we changed is the definitions of redevelopment area. In the previous law, as it had developed since 1963, we had language that pretty much made any piece of property anywhere in the state of Georgia eligible to be described or qualify for TAD. The best real estate, the high dollar real estate could have qualified. What we've done is come back in and really restrict that definition. Where it was definitions A through J previously, it's now A through C with very specific language. It's blighted areas and areas that need it. Because there are good TADs, but unfortunately we had some in some areas that took advantage of this and pretty much ruined a very good economic development tool for everyone else. So one of the things we're trying to do with this is to rehabilitate the concept of TADs also. The other thing it does, school boards have to sign off on this. And one of the things we allowed in this, on page 8, lines 256 through 265, for a school system who contemplates using school tax funds must include a school system impact analysis addressing the financial operational impact on the school system of the proposed redevelopment. As the school board members in a lot of areas told me, we're not in the business of development. We're there to make school policy. So they need a little bit of outside advice on this. And I left it open so that they could decide who they wanted to use. I didn't want to tell them they had to use the developers, blue sky concept. So we'll let the school systems make that choice. They can charge the development if they want to. The other thing we did is we added a public purpose to this in a lot of ways. You've got a situation where, although this is non-recourse financing, it's the ability, and the bondholders are at risk, you're still using the government to prop up a development interest. We've added arts, public art, and arts and cultural facilities to the definition of redevelopment, so that if you're doing a project there, and the bondholders sign off on it, the community will get something out of it also. It's a much better way to fund those types of things than going out and leveraging a tax, and it only comes out of the positive increment, so that's a good thing. The third thing we did is we said that once you pay off the infrastructure cost of the bonds, rather than spread it out for all these years, what we're going to require that you do is pay off the debt with a positive increment, so that you pay off the debt faster instead of just taking it out there. That's a responsible way to go about this. And the fourth and final thing that's in here, I don't know if it's come to an area near you, but it's come to the metro area. These pilots, those are payments in lieu of taxes. Now, with a TAD, all those taxing jurisdictions have to sign off, whether it's the school system, the county, or the cities. And everybody has to be in agreement before you can move forward. Well, there was a new thing. It was a good piece of lawyering. Somebody found out how to do it. And what's happening is they can lease the property and take that property off the tax rolls for the school system in the county or for the city for 33 years, and they don't gain the benefit of it without the taxpayers' elected representatives signing off, and that's a bad idea. So we're restricting that in the final section. It's saying, just as in the TAD statute, a pilot, a payment in lieu of taxes, has to have all governments who are relevant to that decision sign off on it, and everybody agreed with that, other than some of those who wanted to take advantage of that system. All right, Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I hopefully haven't talked this to death, but I'll be more than happy to yield for questions.
You do have questions. Representative Lindsay has a question to your right.
I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One brief question. For those TADs that were put into existence prior to the Supreme Court ruling, in which the education section was invalidated, do those school boards now have to vote again to approve the TADs underneath your additional protections?
Yes, they do, because there's no retroactivity in it. We just decided there are lawsuits in place. I just decided, and did most of those on the committee, that we didn't want to get it involved in the lawsuits. We'll let them battle that out in court. Let's start fresh with the Redevelopment Powers Act and have them reauthorize it.
Well, on behalf of my residents in Atlanta, I'd like to thank you for having that in there.
Okay.
Representative Long has a question to your right.
I yield.
Would the gentleman yield?
I yield.
Who are your metro area signers on that bill right there?
Actually, there's only one name on the bill. I signed it because the original bill was just a placeholder. I've worked with legislators all over the metro area with it.
Thank you.
Thought you were a metro legislator.
Powder Springs is very rural. It's almost out there in the sticks with you. I yield the well.
Is there objection to the previous question being ordered? Is there objection? Chair is none. The previous question is ordered. Is there objection to adopting the committee substitute? Chair is none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of this bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? The clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 63, the yeas 139, the nays 0. This bill having received the requisite constitutional majority is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 304.
House Bill 304 by Representative Porter of the 143rd, a bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 48 relating to county taxation, so as to change certain provisions regarding appraisers and assessors going upon the property in the performance of their duty. Bill has been for the House Committee on Ways and Means. The committee recommends the bill do pass. Bill be read third time.
Chair recognizes Minority Leader Representative Porter to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 304 was brought to me by some folks, and every now and then you'll introduce a bill and then you'll hear from a lot of other members that have a very similar issue in their district. This has to do with the appraisers and tax assessors. In some areas, they were found where they were going on people's property and they were worried that not having any notice that somebody would get hurt. So it's a matter of public safety and the respect for private property rights. But what I've also heard, and earlier in this session, Representative Franklin had a situation where people were peeping in windows. I had one of the chairmen mention to me at their own house that they were seen peeping in the windows during the appraisal and found out they were assessors. And this is what this bill does. It simply says that they give written or other reasonable notice to the property owner before they come on the property. And I think we've worked through this with a lot of them. I don't think it's that controversial. It simply sets up a public safety issue and simply respect for the property rights of the person so they know when someone's on. I think somebody's going to get hurt otherwise. Since the law does not prohibit it, I think it's been seen that they had the right to do anything, and this just says give written or other reasonable notice before that's done. Very simple proposition, so I ask for your favorable consideration. Thank you.
You wish to yield for questions? Gentlemen's yield to the well. Is there objection to the previous question being ordered? And chair hears none. Previous questions ordered. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee which was favorable to the passage of the bill? There's another report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bill will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? So the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 304, the yeas 144, the nays 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Representative Smith of the 113th rise? Speak up. I'm having trouble hearing you. So, what happened? All right. I know what he wants.
Mr. Speaker,
What purpose does the gentleman rise?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the rules be suspended and a bill to be introduced and read for the first time.
Object? Your cohort back there is objecting. Is there objection that the rules be temporarily suspended and for the purpose of reading the bill for the first time? I hear no objection. Listen, I know how this works. All day long, y'all are going to be coming down here asking to do that. And here's what I'm going to say to you. I understand. So if you got a bill that you're like me, you just thought about, I meant to do that, just come on down and ask. And as far as I'm concerned, we'll do them. This is your last chance to get those in. Clerk will read.
A bill by Representative Smith, 113th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 20 relating to education, so provide for the utilization by the Board of Regents certain construction-related services of the Georgia State Financing and Investment Commission, provide for utilization by the Georgia Education Authority, University of certain construction-related services of the Georgia State Financing and Investment Commission, provide for utilization by the Georgia Higher Education Facilities Authority, certain construction-related services of the Georgia State Financing and Investment Commission.
Rules. Representative Chokus what purpose Representative Chokus rise?
Mr. Speaker, I respectfully request that the rules be suspended temporarily so that one bill could be read for the first time.
You only have one or you have two?
Just one.
Is there objection to temporary suspension of the rules so the bill may be read for the first time in assigned committee to committee? Chairs, none is so ordered. Clerk will read.
A bill by Representative Chiokas of the 134th. Bill to be entitled Act to establish a method of appointment for members of the Board of the Americas and Sumter County Hospital Authority.
intergovernmental coordination. Representative Neal has asked the same thing of the chair. Is there objection to Representative Neal moving that the House temporarily suspend its rules so the bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee? Is there objection? Chairs none. So ordered. Clerk will read.
A resolution by Representative Neal the first, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution in a manner consistent with the United States Constitution so as to prevent discrimination in the public funding of social services by allowing religious or faith-based organizations to receive public aid directly or indirectly for the provision of those services by submission of this amendment for ratification or rejection.
Human Relations and Aging. Representative Carter moves for temporary suspension of the rules so the bill may be read for the first time and signed to committee. Is there objection? Chairs none. So ordered. Clerk will read.
A bill by Representative Carter of the 159th, bill to be entitled Amendment Title 16, relating to the protection of elderly persons, so as to provide that the offense of cruelty to a person 65 years of age or older includes the exploitation of a disabled adult or elder person. To amend Title 31, relating to reporting abuse or exploitation of residents in long-term care facilities, so that the exploitation of certain persons in long-term care facilities shall be a felony.
Judiciary non-civil. Representative Smith of the 168th has the same motion that the rules of the House be temporarily suspended and bill be read for the first time, assigned to committee. Is there objection? Chairs none. So ordered. Clerk will read.
A bill by Representative Smith, 168th, bill to be entitled Amendment Title 36, relating to county property generally, so as to provide that certain persons be granted first right to purchase property previously condemned by the county.
State Planning and Community Affairs. All right, now then we're going to take up a little more business. This clerk will read the caption to House Bill 171.
House Bill 171, Representative Manning of the 32nd.
Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? So the clerk will lock the machine. On the adoption of House Bill 207, the yeas are 149, the nays 14. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption. House Bill 278.
House Bill 278 by Representative Ramsey of the 72nd, a bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 20, relating to the Quality Basic Education Act, so as to temporarily waive certain expenditure controls relating to funds earned from direct instructional costs, media center costs, staff and professional development costs, and additional days of instruction. Provide for an automatic repeal. Bill having been for the House Committee on Education. Committee recommends bill do pass, be read the third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Ramsey. Let me get some order for you, Representative. It sounds like a House members will come to order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, hold on just a minute. If you don't mind, I still got a little conversation or two going on. If y'all don't mind finishing those up so we can start with this bill. My guess is that neither one of them can, but y'all don't tell them. No, we're talking about somebody else now. See there, you weren't even paying attention. Gentlemen, continue or begin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, every time that I meet with my friends back home in the education community, they one of the first things they say to me is, we need some help, we need some relief, we need some flexibility from government mandates. And that need is particularly acute in this economy when we've got a historic diminishment of state and local revenues. What this bill is a step in that direction to help our school systems back home. They've requested this back home deal with less money. What it does simply is it relaxes expenditure controls on school systems in 4 areas: site-based instruction, additional days of instruction, media centers, and staff development. It's also important to note that the legislation applies to this school year and next school year. It sunsets at the end of the 2010 school year. This has been done previously by this body in the early 1990s during Governor Miller's administration when we had a revenue shortfall. And again, earlier in Governor Perdue's administration when we had a dip in state and local revenues. Bottom line, this is an effort to give our school systems a little bit of help, a little bit of relief in stretching what is less money in the coffers. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I will yield the well unless there are any questions.
There are no questions. Gentlemen, has yielded the well. Chair recognizes Representative Ash. Oh, I had you signed up. I'm sorry. Is there objection to the previous question being ordered? Oh, pardon? Oh, okay. I thought you signed up Representative Ash. Representative Porter wishes to be heard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the result of a sad reality that we're in. As many of you know, that we worked very hard through the years to make sure that money is channeled appropriately, especially to media centers, to support the reading and the technology and the support for instruction for our teachers. And I'm supporting this bill, and I want you to know this is a limited time, and I think it's something, unfortunately, this is something we have to do, that the stimulus money alone will not be enough to get us all the way back home. That it'll help get us a long way back, but not nearly where we need to be. This is only for 2 years. Hopefully it'll do quickly. Hopefully the economy will pick up, so in 2 years we won't be faced with having to do this again. But I do hope that schools and superintendents and principals will be mindful of the importance of these media centers. The importance of, I know by giving them flexibility allows them to do something for a short time, but still is an integral and important part of instruction in our schools. And with that, I'll yield the will and ask for your support, even though there's something we wouldn't like to be having to do, but something that, like I said, is a sad reality of where we are. Thank you. With that, I yield the will.
Is there objection now to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? So the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 278, the yeas 147, the nays 6. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Chair recognizes Representative Rogers for purposes of making the one and only announcement that's been requested.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The General Government Subcommittee will meet in 415 CLOB in 15 minutes. Thank you.
End of announcements. Clerk will read a series of privileged resolutions.
A resolution by Representative Mangum, the 94th, recognizing and commending the city of Lithonia. Resolution by Representative Sayer, the 136th, recognizing and commending Mr. Jack Shipkowski on the occasion of his retirement. A resolution by Representative Howard, the 121st, recognizing and commending Mrs. Judy Patricia Colbert Heath on her retirement. A resolution by Representative Stevens, the 161st, recognizing and commending Mr. Lawrence Hudgens, Jr. A resolution by Representative Smyrie, honoring and celebrating the 80th birthday of Mrs. Annie Carter. A resolution by Representative Stevens, 161st, recognizing and commending Mrs. Andrea Bowers Williams. A resolution by Representative Hudson, 124th, honoring the life and memory of Mr. Johnny Frank Baker. Resolution by Representative Mangum, 94th, recognizing and commending Ms. Sabrina McKenzie in the GIFT program. Resolution by Representative Stevens, 161st, recognizing and commending the Savannah College of Art and Design for opening its new campus in Hong Kong. And a resolution by Representative